what?
It's time now for My Two Favorite Librarians, brought to you by the Copper Tree Boutique in Dales Grand Market, located in beautiful, historic downtown Amherst.
Hi, this is My Two Favorite Librarians. I'm Denise Corey.
I'm Chantel Taylor, and today we're talking about local authors.
Yes, your
Take
favorite.
it away, Denise.
Your favorite.
Take it away, the other one.
The other one. Chantel and the other one. So, what's local? How close do you have to be considered local?
I don't know, is Canada local?
Is it like the Maritimes local? Is it... So,
You have a variety of local.
I mostly did local, but we'll talk a little bit about New Brunswick. Let's talk about perpetual crowd favorite, Leslie Crew.
Yes.
So she lives in Cape Breton, although she is from Montreal. So is she local?
As an islander, we would say no. And as an islander, I'm not from Cape Breton. I'm from the actual island, PEI.
I like how you say the island. Like there are no other islands.
There are not.
Oh, I see.
I would
Not
the
according to
islanders
people from PEI.
Islanders would say no. Always come from away.
Yes. Yes.
However, I don't know. I just shrugged, like you can all see me.
Shrugs translate really well to radio. So Leslie Crew has a new book coming out at the end of August.
Yay.
Called Spoon Stealer. Yay!
Is it definitely coming out?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on the Nimbus website. I just ordered 2 copies because she is such a favorite here. Everybody loves her. I cannot wait until the world goes back to some sort of normal where we could have Leslie back to read again, because we usually get like 60 or 70 people who come out to see her read, and she's just so funny and engaging and entertaining. So if you have not seen Leslie read, well, I can't tell you when you're going to be able to now, but if it happens, you should go because she's funny.
Even I enjoy her. I've never. Well, that's not true. I read one of her books, Ava Comes Home.
Yes.
Which I did not like.
Oh.
And I did watch the movie, which is nothing like the book.
Well, I mean, in the book Relative Happiness, Lexi works at the library.
Yeah.
And in the movie, she runs a B&B.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they
movies. I don't know why they do anything. Librarian isn't really a fantasy career.
What?
Because a lot of,
What?
Yeah. A lot of books feature fantasy careers.
Yes.
Like unattainable. I'm doing quoting marks that you can't see again.
You're really, really nailing this radio thing this morning. So, yeah, I'm really excited. She has a new book coming in. I'm very excited about that. So, she announced it on her Facebook feed, and I did see that it's now on the Nimbus website. And, yeah, can't wait. All right, here's local, super local. How about Deanne Fitzpatrick?
Oh, yes.
That's very local. Lives in Amherst. Well, just outside of town. She's put out several books. They're all nonfiction, and they're about rug hooking. But they're not just about the details of rug hooking, although there's a bit of that. They're also about
creativity.
Yeah, art, creativity.
Yeah. They're not necessarily instructional. They're more inspirational.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to put it. They're inspirational books of rug hooking. And her writing style in her books, it's very much like having a conversation with her.
Yeah.
Just very, nice, personal, forthright. She really writes a lot about her life and then how it influences her rug hooking. Yeah, so she's put out, I should have looked
5 or 6 books?
Yeah. The last one was Making a Life, and it's about 25 years of rug cooking.
And how her rug cooking changed from start to right now.
And we got to see a sneak preview of that book, which was really exciting because she was showing us some of the pictures that were going to go into it and
changes she wanted to make and how she wants, because she's a very visual person who's looking at how colors match and how things flow together.
Yeah, the layout of the book, I'm sure Nimbus loved her because most authors are probably like, oh, the layout's fine. Whereas she's like, no, this picture needs to be over here and this. But she's lovely, so I'm sure she was very polite and awesome to the Nimbus people. Speaking of Nimbus, if you're looking for local authors, Nimbus is really just look for anything Nimbus publishes. Because they say on their website that they publish books relevant to Atlantic Canadians. So if you want a local author or books about a local subject, find a book published by Nimbus, or they have an imprint called Vagrant Press that will get you local, Atlantic Canadian local.
Does Dale sell Nimbus books?
Yes. So Maritime Mosaic sells Nimbus books, but you could also borrow them from the library.
Yes, but
if you wanted a copy. Yeah, and you can also get them at Kohl's, I think. Yeah, because I've got some there. Here's a local author that you know, Allison Watson.
Yay! I saw her walking the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
She also lives in Amherst now. She was living in Spring Hill, but we've sucked her into the big town.
It's because she got a job in Sackville.
Yes. She published a book called Transplanted, and it's about her double lung transplant. This book it's so hard to contemplate even.
Yeah.
I've been so lucky in my life that I've had relatively few health problems at all. You can't see it, but I just knocked wood. I mean, I feel like you have to do that. But Allison was born with cystic fibrosis, so she talks about her whole transplant, the whole journey that she went through, and even afterwards, the recovery, and it's really interesting. And she's like so super upbeat about it, but without being
too saccharine.
Yeah. The people who put the quotes about how everything was meant for a purpose, like, what is the purpose of that? No. So, yeah, it's a really good book. I encourage you to read it. And then if you see Allison walking around town, like, make sure you're wearing your mask when you say hi to her. But she's very, very friendly. She used to work for us, but Mayonnaise stole her, as they do. Did you read Transplanted?
No, I didn't.
No.
I'm thinking of giving it to my uncle, though, because he's on the waiting list for lung transplant right now.
Perhaps you should read it first, because she also talks about all of these things that went wrong.
I know, but I almost wonder if that would make them better prepared. Because Allison had said, because I did see her when she did her author talk at Spring Hill, she said, I didn't know that I would have to learn how to rewalk again. I didn't know that I'd have to have this happen. I didn't know that. And I thought, well, maybe it would be helpful to hear those things from somebody.
Yeah, you should read it. Yeah, I know. It's not a romance book. It's not Ice Planet Barbarian.
No, it's not.
Nothing is. So my book club was supposed to have read back, when we had people in the library and we were doing programs.
Move along.
Sorry, I'm just so sad. My book club was supposed to have read Found Drowned. I separated those words because when I say it quickly, Chantal thinks I'm saying Found Round. Found Drowned by Laurie Glenn Norris. So Laurie is a local author as well. She's written a couple of non-fiction books. She wrote Cumberland County Facts and Folklore, and she wrote Haunted Girl, which is a nonfiction book about Esther Cox. Really interesting. And this was her first published novel, but it is based on a true crime from 1877 where a body washed up on the shore of PEI. And she was trying to do the research around this to write a nonfiction book, but just couldn't find enough information. And so decided to take the information that she had and write what she thinks might have happened.
Interesting. Now that I might be willing to read.
Okay.
Did she do an author reading here?
She did.
For that book?
Yes,
okay.
She did. Yeah. And Lori is lovely. She works at the Joggins Fossil Cliffs.
Yes, she does.
And yeah, big library supporter. So I was very happy to have her in here to do an author reading. Alas, remember author readings? All right. Heading into New Brunswick.
Okay, go for it.
I grew up in New Brunswick. I am currently reading The Coming of Winter by David Adams Richards.
Oh.
Yeah. So I last read this book when I was in university. And it opened a whole new world for me because he wrote about rural New Brunswick. And I had always thought books were about things that took place in England a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Based on what education, or Stephen King, because I read a lot of that when I was a kid. But this was the first time I read something that looked sort of like the life around me. So I found it very fascinating. And it was a book that was an eye-opener for me, but I have not read it since. So I decided to revisit it. I've just started. I'm about 30 pages in.
I, too, read David
Adams
Richard, thank you, in university. Nights Below Station Street. Mm-hmm. What was that? I can't remember the other one.
Lives of Short Duration.
No. Anyway.
He's written several.
Yeah, he's written a lot. Very Canadian.
Yes.
Not necessarily the happiest of books. When I was in library tech, we read a short story by him, which was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. And just a warning, if you're listening with kids, don't smoke, kids. It's bad for you. Don't start. It was a short story about how he had started smoking as as a little kid. I can't even remember, 6 or 7 years old. He was running around town, smoking. They were smoking in ditches. They set the back of the couch on fire with cigars, and then they got caught.
Really?
And
what a shocker.
Yeah. And they put him in a high chair and made him smoke a whole pack of cigarettes. And his aunt walked in and looked at him smoking these cigarettes and said, "I didn't know the baby smoked." And it was just so polar opposite to everything else I'd read by him. It was absolutely hilarious.
So David Adams Richards grew up in the Miramichi. So I can totally picture 6-year-old kids running around the streets in the Miramichi smoking. Yeah, so I'm revisiting my stories that I read when I was younger because, of course, I have a completely different perspective now in my 40s than I had in my 20s.
Yes.
What a shocker. So I want to give you an update. I've read 52 books so far.
Nice.
And completed 36 of the 50 Pop Sugar Reading Challenges.
That's so good.
I am going to rock it this year. Yeah. Especially when the weather is nice, sitting on the back deck, reading a book makes me super happy. And I just unplug from everything and I don't bring my phone out with me so there's none of that ding to interrupt me. Now I find I can really actually get into a book. I have to put things out of my way so I can just fall into the book. Are you reading anything?
I'll tell you what I'm not reading right now, Denise.
Ice Planet Barbarians?
Nope. I'm not reading Engagement and Espionage by Penny Reid, which was released on Tuesday.
Why?
Because the audiobook doesn't come out until September.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so I'm on the fence whether I want to buy the book and then buy the audiobook to listen to it. I'm hoping it will be on Hoopla, but I really want to read it. I'm rereading Beard Science again. We drove to Halifax the other day and
You were trying to convince me to
listen
Beard Science or to listen to a woman yelling at me about my face care regimen.
She's not yelling at you specifically. She's yelling at all of us.
I don't want somebody yelling at me about my face care regimen.
She's not yelling. That book is Skincare by Carolyn Hirons. It will be available at the library soon. It's amazing. So I'm rereading Beard Science right now. I really don't have like a lot that I'm reading at the moment. I don't know. I'm just coming off vacation and my vacation was a bit of a kerfuffle. Anyway.
Not a lot of reading.
So I'm debating if I should just read, but I just love the voices. I guess I could just make the voices in my head as I'm reading.
You could, yes. Yeah, that's part of reading. I'm listening to At Home by Bill Bryson, which I have listened to before. I tried to pick up and read one of his books, but I need the voice. Bill Bryson reads his own books, and he has such a nice, soothing voice. And it's just, At Home is the history of the home, and he goes through each room and talks about history, and it's far-ranging history. And fascinating, but very soothing to listen to.
That's always nice.
Even the whole thing where he talked about rats and lice.
Nice. That was Vivian's rat book.
Yeah, Vivian thought it was a book about rats. In her memory, that's the only part that she remembered. Let's talk about the library.
Yes, let's.
So, the Advocate Library is doing grab and go. You can find their times that they're doing it on the website. The Forefathers Library in Amherst is now open, reduced hours, Wednesday to Saturday. You can find all of the details on the website. The shelves are open for browsing. You can pick up holds. We have the photocopier available. We have computers available. But we do have a restriction as to how many people can be in at one time. The Oxford Library closed just before the whole world closed because there was a problem with the building, but we do have a satellite location now in the Oxford Medical Center. This is only to pick up holds, and it is by appointment only. You can find their phone number and email address on the website. Maybe it's a good time for you to tell us the website, Chantel?
No, I'm going to do it later because I want to talk about the website, so continue.
Okay. The Parsboro Library should be open. So we're recording this on Thursday to go onto the radio on Monday. So we should be open.
Yeah, on Monday. What is it? July 20th?
Yeah. So Parsboro Library will be open on Fridays and Saturdays. The Pugwash Library is open for grab and go. They're now doing that 4 days a week. So if there's something that you want from the Pugwash Library or anything that we have, you can place a hold on it and pick it up there. If you have any questions, you can call them or email them. And the Spring Hill Library should be opening soon. We're just waiting for plexiglass installation. So things are rolling along. Oh, also, if none of those work for you, or if there's some reason that you can't come into the library, we are still providing borrow by mail to any resident of Cumberland County who wants to have that service. And now Chantel is going to tell us the website address.
No, I would like to put an add-on to the borrow by mail. If you're placing holds for yourself, do not choose the location you normally do. Choose borrow by mail. So when you
Select a place from the drop-down menu.
Thank you. All the words are gone from my head now. If you're normally an Advocate user, instead of it being Advocate, change it to borrow by mail, and then it won't go to Advocate and then get sent to us, and you won't get another phone call, just to make things easier on your end. So the website, let's talk about the website. The website changed in April.
Why will you not give the URL?
I'm just being difficult now.
You are difficult.
The website changed over in April, and so it looks very different than it did 4 months ago. We are very slowly working to bring it back to what it was. However, because most of our services aren't happening, because our messaging is changing almost constantly, we haven't recreated every single page again. The website, www.cumberlandpubliclibraries.ca, does contain the most current information, and we are changing it regularly, especially that front page. There's branch information, which contains all the hours and telephone numbers and email addresses. There's Summer Reading Club, because Summer Reading Club is happening. You can email us or call us to send in your ballots. You can watch Julie on Facebook. Our social media information is at the bottom of the homepage. You can click on our Instagram, on our Facebook. There is some stuff on our YouTube, although mostly go to Facebook for Julie.
YouTube isn't posted on our website.
Oh, is it not there yet?
But
Okay.
Twitter is there.
So there is information there on the website. I know it looks really generic, and it looks like that because we basically don't have time to go out and take pictures of things, because every day is a new challenge.
Every day we're just trying to make sure that the library is able to offer some services to people.
And then figuring out how to do those services safely or online.
Yeah.
So it is there. Check out our website. It looks a little bit bland right now, but we are working on it. It's a work in progress.
Speaking of Facebook, in addition to Julie's awesome videos on Facebook, which I recommend watching Tongue Twister Tuesday because those are hilarious, you can also find the My Two Favorite Librarians Facebook group. You can find it off of the library's Facebook page, or you can just search for My Two Favorite Librarians, spelt the correct way, the Canadian way, with a U. Chantel and I post videos on there, which is mostly us being cranky about things, really. I think that's what it boils down to. Or me yelling about having to read Ice Planet Barbarians. And we also post information about the podcasts that Chantel's listening to, or books that I'm reading, or just little interesting tidbits. So come join us there and comment, tell us what you're reading. We love to hear about it. And next week, what are we going to talk about?
We're talking about books about royalty, and not biographies. Although, I guess if you wanted to read a biography about royalty.
Did you see the biography about the Queen Mum?
Yeah, she lived for like 125 years.
The book is like 6,000
She survived the
pages
Blitz.
long. Yeah, I'm probably gonna not read that one. Maybe I'll read a Wikipedia entry. I'll just watch a lot of The Crown.
Oh, The Crown.
Makes me happy. All right, talk to you next week.
Bye.
My Two Favorite Librarians, brought to you by the Copper Tree Boutique in Dales Grand Market, located in beautiful, historic downtown Amherst.